What's going on? Welcome to View the Right Thing, and this is Rise Recap and Review, and consider that your spoiler warning. The movie starts off on a sad note, with Veronica and Charles Antetokounmpo leaving their family and youngest son Francis for a better life in Turkey. After a fade out and fade in, we find the couple again, nestled in their hotel room where they're surprised by soldiers ransacking the lobby. The couple hide, and right before they're found, the soldier is called away. And as they're making their escape, we finally see what's going on. The government is rounding up folks with no papers, and now it's getting too hot in Turkey. So they sneak onto a bus and decide to make their way to Greece, and that's when the movie begins. We pick back up with Veronica. She's selling merch to tourists, or at least she did, because all of a sudden, she's got a visitor friend. She's like, hey, watch the NASA's. I need to go and have this baby real quick. She makes it to the hospital just in time, and surprise, it's a boy. The nurse is like, he's cute. Can I see your papers, please? Veronica's like, look at the cute baby. Later, back at the house, we find that Charles wasn't home because he works for days at a time. But when he does get home, Veronica's like, surprise, brand new baby. They say, let's call the kid Giannis. That guy might be a thing one day. The next day, the Antetokounmpos go to the Greek registry, and we find out why their name is spelled that way. It's because the Greeks couldn't spell the Nigerian version. But they decide to roll with it because they also want citizenship for their sons who, unlike their parents, were born in Greece. And the official's like, okay, that's gonna take some time, but in the meantime, I'm gonna need you to get a job and just hide out. Literally. Which is hard because they sell merch, and as soon as they do, the cops raid the area. The family flees, but it's super close. The next day, Giannis and Thanasis are at a park where they get asked a fateful question. Hey, do you hoop? The boys lie and say yes. They know their dad won't like it, but kid's gonna kid, right? Later, Thanasis has a plan. He's like, hey, let's learn the ball and get this money, and Giannis is with it. And the next day, the pair set out to join a league team. And when they arrive at the court, they like it right away. And their new coach likes them right away too, because they're tall. When they get home, the boys fess up to playing basketball without permission. And dad's like, hey, you're grounded. But mom's like, nuh-uh, not so fast. And with that, congratulations, boys, you're hoopers now. But not good ones, because the next day at basketball camp, they get absolutely wrecked. But not for long though, the boys improve rapidly and start gaining a national rep in no time, especially Thanasis, who just got signed to a league team and has the check to prove it. Things are finally looking up for the family. That is until the check bounces. What? The basketball club found out about their status and decided to void Thanasis' contract. Giannis is like, don't worry, bro. We're gonna shake this off. We're gonna get up and rise. Oh, I get the title now. The next day, Charles goes back to the immigration office. He's like, hey, I got the job. Can you change our status now? And the lady's like, oh, I meant you needed a job, homie. And Mr. Antetokounmpo is not amused. And neither is Giannis, because he's super distracted and playing like trash for some reason. But why? Oh, some of the kids have been doing some of the racism. But after watching some Showtime Lakers and Rocky Balboa mountain training for some reason, Giannis shakes it off. And it works, because at the next practice, yeah, both Giannis and Thanasis are dope now, and they are crushing it until, Thanasis hurts his ankle. Now, Giannis has to lead the team, and he does, straight to a win. But even as good as they are, they still have no papers, and no one will take the risk, except for one sports agent, who signs Giannis as his first and only client. But he's on the ball. He tells him that there's a big basketball exhibition coming up, but since Thanasis is still healing, Giannis has to step up. And he does too, because after a slow start, Giannis starts dunking everyone into oblivion. He plays so well that he gets an offer, but there's a catch. The team's in Spain and they only have papers for him. But the kid makes a counter offer, either all of us or none of us, and they go home to wait for a reply. But even as they do, they get another surprise offer. It's a sketchy agent offering cash and paperwork for everybody, but there's another catch. They've got to fire their old agent. The family doesn't bite, and the Greek agent leaves, but not before letting off some threats first. And good thing too, because their agent landed the big one. He's bypassed Spain and got Giannis a shot in the NBA draft. But it's high risk, high reward. If he doesn't get picked, the whole family risks deportation. But they step out on faith and decide to do it. When the boys land in New York, it's love at first sight, but this is a business trip, and after a night in a plush hotel, they've got a big meeting with Nike the next day. And at that meeting, Nike asks Giannis why they should sign him, and instead of selling himself, he sells the truth and tells his story. Meanwhile, the agents are shopping Giannis around, but they've only got a shot with just 3 teams. But when David Stern strolls out, it's draft time, y'all. And first off the board is not Giannis. And the second pick is also not Giannis. And who are we kidding? You know who the Bucks pick. Giannis, take the stage, bro. And fittingly, the movie ends on a freeze frame of mom and dad, the two who built the Antetokounmpo franchise. And as to my opinion, honestly, I didn't expect to like this one as much as I did. Yeah, it's sappy, but you expect that with a Disney flick. But the acting, the production, and the soundtrack was way better than I anticipated. It's more like a feel-good superhero origin story than a basketball documentary, so there's not much hoop, but there is a lot of heart here. And it doesn't hurt that the Antetokounmpos are easy to root for, and their fictional versions are just as likable as the real ones. Against all odds, I'd definitely give this one a recommendation. It's worth a watch. Thanks for watching View the Right Thing. If you dig the vibe, hit the subscribe and join the tribe. Peace.